Sukuna is currently the most glazed unit in Anime Vanguard, with some people even saying he's the best unit. I will be showing you what he does, and you tell me your opinion. Whether Sukuna deserves all the glaze. There will be timestamps to help you guide around the video. And please enable the YouTube subtitles if needed. There won't be any subtitles in this video, because it takes a huge chunk of time. Now let's dive right in. First and foremost, Sukuna has a status called Cleave. Cleave makes bleed damage deal 20% more, and Sukuna himself is a bleed unit, which means he also deals 20% extra bleed damage. Nextly, on upgrade 7, he gains an ability called Sinister Sanctum. It deals ×4 of his current damage and applies Cleave, and every kill during the ability grants 1% damage boost up to 30%. Lastly, he gains Flame Element on upgrade 8, dealing 30% burn damage. Keep in mind that this attack no longer applies bleed, but Sukuna gains 40% damage boost and immunity to status in exchange. Moving on to his familiars. With his finger familiar equipped, he now applies Cleave on every attack. Not only that, he buffs all curse element units by 30%, and this includes himself. Nextly, he buffs his own damage by 200% and range by 30%, making this his best familiar. Last but not least, every time he applies Cleave, he now does a follow-up with attack 2. This is a full AoE, and it will apply bleed on top of his original damage. His full AoE upgrade is one of if not the strongest early game unit. Not only does he have full AoE, he has bleed for anti-regen. Put your thinking caps on. It is time to calculate. Firstly, he costs 14.2k coins to get full AoE. He deals 108k damage on top of 30% bleed damage. But his Cleave status makes this a 36% instead, which equals 39k damage. Divided by 5.6 seconds equals 26k DPS. Now, remember his follow-up passive? He can proc this, and this animation stacks, meaning he deals x2 damage, which equals nearly 300k, divided by 5.6 spar, and that's whopping 52k DPS, which makes him the one of if not the best placement unit. 52k DPS for 14k coins, full AoE, and anti-heal. This also makes him very versatile in every game modes. Here is a clip of his ×2 damage. You will know it is working when he slams twice. This was clipped using BlackBerry device. Here is demonic damage. He costs 98k coins, putting him on the average cost. Because he is curse element, he deals 30% extra damage to bosses. Sukuna in this test is set on last priority to test his full AoE damage. Along with his domain buff, in the span of 20 seconds, he has dealt 4.7 million damage. Divided by 20 seconds equals 235k DPS. Now with Nuke. In the span of 10 seconds, he has dealt 3 million damage. Divided by 10, and that's 306k DPS. His follow-up is stronger than his normal attack, because his burn deals 30% whilst his bleed deals 36%. Let's calculate his DPS without bosses and follow-ups. 441 KDMG plus 30% burn damage equals 574 KDMG. Divided by 5.6 seconds, and that's 102 KDPS. Lastly, follow-up attack. Bleed deals 36% damage because of his Cleave. 441k plus 36% equals 600k. Now let us bring in the fire move, and it takes 6 seconds total for follow-up attack. Add them together and divide by 6 seconds, which is 195k DPS. This is unrealistic, but if you constantly proc follow-up attack on a boss, add total plus 30% from curse element, divide by 6, and that's 313k DPS. because he boosts curse element by 30% damage. He is naturally good with any curse units. Lots of curse units are broken, such as Kaguya, Skull Knight, Gigi, Harry, and Zeke, to name a few. And because of his cleave, he pairs with any bleed units well too. Main example being Guts. He complements with Sukuna really well with Guts, because he constantly spawns a new unit for Sukuna to cleave. In my opinion, Sukuna is a great long-term investment. Not only is he a very strong starter unit, he is also a crazy buffer. Personally, I'm going to save for Vegeta, but let me know down below on your thoughts. See you next time.